Hello and welcome to 15 Minutes of English. My name is Laurie. This is the first in the advanced series. Today we're going to be learning English with Jennifer Lawrence.
What do you mean? What do you mean by shaking it? What are you doing? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is that we are going to be looking at some clips of Jennifer Lawrence in this interview that she did. It's quite a famous series of interviews called First We Feast. First We Feast is the YouTube channel, and Hot Ones is the series of interviews. And in this series of interviews, they get celebrities to eat very spicy chicken wings and have an interview at the same time. So I would recommend you go and have a look at the full interview. The link will be in the description. And there are hundreds of them. So if you don't like Jennifer Lawrence, well, you probably won't like this episode because the whole episode is Jennifer Lawrence. But they have lots of other celebrities eating chicken wings, and that makes it sound not so interesting, but it is interesting. I would recommend it. Now, let's have a look. Let's look at some of the conversational English that we can pick up from Jennifer Lawrence. So in today's lesson, we will look out for some of the conversational phrases you can learn from Jennifer Lawrence in this interview. Right, so let's have a listen to the first little clip. The first bit, the guy says, "Welcome to the show," and I want you to pick up on what she says in response to that. And there will be two little things there. He says that we will revisit that. How are you around spicy food before we get started? So I want you to pick up what she says to that. I want you to have a think of what he says, what Jennifer Lawrence says before the interviewer, I can't remember his name, but the interviewer says, "Well, I guess we'll find out today." And then what does she say in response to, "Are you ready to get started?" I'm going to give you a hint. It's not yes, because that is a very boring thing to say. Or not boring, but in conversational English, we do things a bit different. So let's have a listen.
Third, Jennifer Lawrence, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I think.
Yeah, right. We'll revisit that here at the
Yeah.
end. How are you around spicy food before we get started?
I'm okay, but I'm going into this very humble.
Smart.
I don't think I have that high of a pain tolerance.
Well, I guess we'll find out today.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, sure.
Right, there we go. So the interviewer says, "Welcome to the show," and Jennifer Lawrence says, "Thank you for having me." This is a very useful phrase to have in your bank of phrases if you are invited to anything. So if you're invited to someone's house or whatever, you can say, "Thank you for having me," "Thank you for having us." It just means, thank you for inviting me. But the next thing that she says was, I think, why does she say "I mean"? And you should notice throughout the rest of this episode that she says "I mean" quite a lot. If you watch the whole video, you will see that she says quite a lot of things that don't really add much to what she's saying. She says "I mean," she says like. One thing that I do, which is the same, is that I say quite often. So why does she say "I mean"? It's just a filler word. It doesn't really mean much. So it's just "I mean." Why does she say "I think"? It's because she's not sure about eating the hot wings. Right. So we'll revisit that at the end. I think we will see if she's happy about eating these hot wings at the end. How are you around spicy food before we get started? What did she say? She said, "I'm okay, but I'm going into this very humble." Right? So quite an American way of speaking, in my opinion. But she says, again, "I'm okay." So she's not saying that she's the toughest person ever, but I'm going into this very humble, meaning that she doesn't have a strong ego going into this. If you're humble is generally a positive adjective to describe yourself. It means that you are not a selfish, not an egotistical person, and you don't think that you are amazing. Okay. She says, I don't think I have that high of a pain tolerance. Right. So she is a bit of a wuss. She doesn't deal with pain very well. And to which he responds, "Well, I guess we'll find out today." Which I guess they do. So what does she say when he says, "Are you ready to get started?" Are you ready to get started? She doesn't say just yes. She says, "Yeah, sure." This is a very common way of responding in English. British people do it as well, not just Americans. We say sure. Americans, they put in that R, so they say sure. But yeah, sure. Beautiful. Right. Okay, in the next clip, we've got Jennifer Lawrence talking about her recipe for a chili pizza sandwich, which we will see what that involves, and it doesn't look great. So, do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you invented the chili pizza sandwich? So the interviewer is asking this question quite quickly when we listen. The next thing he says, Jennifer Lawrence kind of speaks over him. She interrupts, and I want you to figure out what they say. This is a very important skill when you're in a conversation in English, especially as you get to the more advanced levels. If you're using your English in certain contexts, like if you go out for drinks or whatever, you need to be able to understand what two people are saying when they're talking at the same time, which is difficult, but it's a skill. You can practice it. Okay, so let's have a listen.
Of yours, do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you invented the chili pizza sandwich? And can you walk us through step by
The
step
chili
how to
pizza
make
sandwich. You know, Justine, whose house I was in when I invented this, she's actually here eating the wings with us. Just
Right. Before we continue, do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you invented the chili pizza sandwich? And can you walk us through step by step how to make it? Now, what does it mean to walk through a sandwich? It doesn't mean that you stand on the sandwich. If you walk someone through something step by step, it means that you explain it, right? You explain it in a simple way. If I ask you, look, can you walk me through the procedure of how to use Excel for this job? Then I want you to explain it nice and simply for me. I want you to walk me through it. Not running, just walking, nice and simple. Okay. And what did she say in this? When she spoke over him, she said, "Oh my God," in such an American way. "Oh my God, the chili pizza sandwich." Okay, so Justine, whose house I was in when I invented this, she's actually here eating the wings with us. Right, let's go back a little bit and we can listen.
okay.
So I'm intrigued by a culinary creation of yours. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you invented the chili pizza sandwich? And can you walk us through step by
The
step
chili
how to
pizza
make it?
sandwich. Justine, whose house I was in when I invented this, she's actually here eating the wings with us. Just side note, if you want to swing the camera. over
Yeah, we
there.
do. We have a nice little side party over here.
I would say ours was leftover chili, so we microwaved the chili. It was me. In Kentucky, we put noodles in our chili. One piece of pizza is your bottom bun, 2 scoops, heavy scoops of chili, and then a second pizza on top as the top.
Right. Okay. So that was her her recipe for a chili pizza sandwich. It looks disgusting, to be honest. But what did she say when she said she's actually here eating the wings with us? Because this was not the point of what she was saying. She was trying to talk about her microwave chili sandwich. And she wanted to add some extra information. And what she said was, she's actually here eating the wings with us. Just side note. Now this is not very grammatically correct because she is improvising as she speaks. You see, this is something that people who are learning advanced English seem to get wrong most of the time when they're trying to speak, is that they get very stressed about things being perfect when they're speaking. But you look through this whole video of Jennifer Lawrence, she's a very famous actress. She speaks English very well. Clearly, otherwise she wouldn't be a famous actress. But when she speaks, she doesn't put it in the right grammar. So just as a side note. Maybe that would work if you were writing it down, or just a side note. But anyway, side note means an extra piece of information. You imagine a note on the side. It's an extra piece of information. So if you want to add something to a conversation, you can say, look, side note, blah, blah, blah. You can say some kind of extra information as a side note. Okay, and the other thing that I wanted to add that she said was, I would say ours was leftover chili, so we microwaved the chili. What does it mean that when she says, I would say? You know, why does she say it? Because it doesn't really seem to add anything. And again, just like when she said, I mean, it's just a sort of filler bit, right? I would say. Because, of course, you would say it, because you are saying it right now. So if you listen to the way that she says it as well, she says, well, I would say ours was leftover chili, so we microwaved the chili. This is a very useful phrase if you can use it in the appropriate way. If you can put it into your speech, don't overuse it, because it's very obvious if you overuse these things, and it doesn't sound good. But it gives you a little bit of space to breathe and to think while you're talking. Right. So there we go. The next one is a funny little one. So let's have a listen.
Ooh, she's warm.
She is warm. She is warm.
Ooh, and she's warming up.
And building a little bit. Building.
She's building. Yeah.
Just a sign of what's to come.
Ooh.
But
Right. So they are starting to feel the heat of these chicken wings. So she says, "Ooh, she's warm." Why does she say she when she's referring to a chicken wing? Now, this is a typical thing that lots of people do, is that they refer to objects with a gender. Men seem to do it with cars or machines. Like, oh, she's running like a dream. Or boats. They will talk about their boat as if it's a woman. I don't know why. It's just some kind of poetic license. So she says, "Oh, she's warm," meaning the hot wing. And he doesn't really want to contradict her. He just wants to say that she's correct. So he says she is warm. If you put emphasis on the verb there, you're emphasizing that you agree, right? She is warm, rather than she's warm. If you hear the difference, she is warm. Ooh, and she's warming up. So she's adding to this emphasis on her explanation. And then he says, just a sign of what's to come. Now, what's to come, you could say, of what's coming, right? But there's this sort of old-fashioned style, what's to come. In any other context, you would probably say what's coming. But it's just a popular phrase, a sign of what's to come. It sounds a little bit biblical or apocalyptic, what is to come. But it's just a bit of fun. Okay, the next bit. So this is talking about her childhood, growing up. So let's have a listen.
placed makes sense.
And I was kind of in my head at the beginning. I was like, is this show real?
Right, no, I get
And I
that.
don't think that anymore.
Growing up in the shadow of Churchill Downs, do you have any sort of insight or internal calculus when deciding on which horse is a good horse to place a bet on?
I always like to look at the horses that look like they're just like, oh my God, you know, the ones that are like the most excited. They're like, get me out there. But I've never once won a race. So don't, yeah.
There we go. So, what did she say at the beginning there? Was she confident in the truth of this show? Because it's a show where they get celebrities to eat chicken wings. So maybe there's a bit of trickery. Maybe the wings are not actually spicy. So she said, I was kind of, I didn't put the transition in there. I was kind of in my head at the beginning. Like, is this show real? See that? Like there. is just a filler word. It's not really, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't sound very formal or very good to use it too much, but using it every now and again, it's not too bad. And him to to reassure her, he says, right, no, I get that. So here he says, right, no, I get that. What does the I get that mean? Here the word get being a very versatile word can mean lots of things, but here it means understand. So I understand that. So he understands that she was not sure if the show was real or not. Talking about this show, Hot Ones. Now, he asks a question about her growing up next to a famous racetrack, and how she chooses which horse is a good horse to place a bet on, where place a bet of some money. And she says, I always look at the horses that look like, maybe we can
Place makes sense.
And I was kind of in my head at the beginning. I was like, is this show real?
Right, no, I get
And I
that.
don't think that anymore.
Growing up in the shadow of Churchill Downs, do you have any sort of insight or internal calculus when deciding on which horse is a good horse to place a bet on?
I always like to look at the horses that look like they're just like, oh my God, you know, the ones that are like the most excited. They're like, get me out there. But I've never once won a race. So don't, you know.
Right, there we go. So she kind of trailed off at the end of her sentence there. But I've never once won a race, so don't, you know. It's quite an easy way to finish a sentence if you don't know how to finish your own sentence, is to say, you know, which, just short for you. Why does she put in the word once into this sentence? If you say, but I've never won a race, that means the same thing. So why put the word once in there? Is just to emphasize the fact that she has really never won a race, not even once. So okay, it's just for emphasis. Okay, and then the last bit.
Okay, is this one bad? What do you mean? What do you mean by shaking it? What are you doing? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
There we go. So if you want to imitate the meme, then you need to say, what do you mean? Now, this is quite a good phrase to have in your bank of phrases to use, in your back pocket, as it were, because it's quite useful to throw into a conversation, because it can, if you don't understand something, okay, you can say, okay, what do you mean by that? Depending on the tone you use it, you can say that what someone's saying doesn't make any sense. So if you say, what do you mean, as she does, you might be saying that, you know, what you're saying is crazy. Why are you doing this? There we go. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this first episode of the Precisa Classes Advanced 15 minutes of English. I hope you will show up for the next ones. We've got lots more celebrities to learn from, and not all of them will be from celebrities. But anyway, if you are interested in individual classes or group classes, then please get in touch via our website, precisaclasses.com. We've got an Instagram, Miss Laurie English, or we also have an email, director@precisaclasses.com. That will get you in contact with me. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.